I'm afraid you're in the wrong section. This is first class, not economy. Janet Miller's voice cuts through the cabin air like a blade. Her eyes scan Marcus Reed from head to toe, lingering on his simple black t-shirt and faded jeans. The disdain in her expression needs no translation. Marcus extends his boarding pass. Janet barely glances at it before shaking her head. There must be some mistake. People like you don't have real first-class tickets. Captain Robert Hayes emerges from the cockpit, his uniform crisp, his gaze tired. Dark circles under his eyes hint at sleepless nights. He doesn't look at the ticket Marcus still holds out. Is there a problem, Janet? This passenger insists he belongs in first class. Hayes's jaw tightens. His hand waves dismissively toward the back of the plane. Get him to economy now. We have actual VIP guests who need these seats. Marcus stands perfectly still. Around them, passengers begin to notice. A phone rises. Recording. When prejudice speaks louder than proof, will justice find its voice? Keep watching. Marcus Reed stands 6 feet tall, his athletic frame tense despite his efforts to remain calm. At 48, his close-cropped hair shows distinguished streaks of gray. His dark skin gleams under the harsh cabin lights. Those simple clothes, a black t-shirt and well-worn jeans, are deliberate choices. He's been testing his own airline, suspecting exactly this problem. His eyes, sharp but weary, take in every detail. This isn't his first such encounter, just his first with the power to change it. The familiar burn of humiliation mixes with CEO guilt. How many others faced this while he sat in boardrooms? Hayes's phone buzzes. A text from his daughter flashes on screen. Dad, did you send the tuition payment? Final notice came today. He silences it quickly, the financial pressure adding weight to his shoulders. Every delay costs him. Every complaint threatens his bonus, money he desperately needs since the divorce. Sir, I need you to move now. Janet's voice wavers slightly. She clutches her tablet, knuckles whitening. Marcus takes a deep breath, fighting the urge to simply announce who he is. No. He needs to see how deep this goes. I'd be happy to move. To my assigned seat in 2A. Hayes steps closer, coffee on his breath, exhaustion in his eyes. Look, I don't have time for this. We're already 12 minutes behind schedule. That's 12 minutes I have to explain to management. Perhaps if you looked at my ticket. I don't need to look at anything. On this aircraft, I am the final authority. 8-year-old Marcus watches his father turned away from a whites-only restaurant in 1985. Don't make a scene, son, his father whispered. But Marcus is tired of not making scenes. Janet's tablet pings. She glances down, and the color drains from her face. Her mouth opens, closes, opens again. You're Marcus Reed? Yes, the same Marcus Reed whose name appears on seat 2A. Hayes snatches the tablet from Janet's trembling hands. His tired eyes scan the manifest, then freeze. This has to be wrong. You can't be. Can't be what, Captain? Can't be black? Can't dress casually? Can't be the majority owner of this airline? From 3 rows back, a young Asian man named David Chen has his phone raised, live streaming. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing discrimination in real time on Skyline Airways Flight 1847. Marcus pulls out his phone, his hand trembling slightly with controlled anger. Sarah, it's Marcus. I need you to verify something for Captain Hayes and Janet Miller on Skyline 1847. Through the phone's speaker. Mr. Reed? Of course. You're Marcus Reed, CEO of Skyline Airways and majority shareholder at 51%. Janet's legs buckle slightly. She grabs a seat back for support. Hayes's face cycles through emotions: disbelief, fear, anger, and finally, desperate denial. This is impossible. This is some kind of setup. Behind, an elderly woman in 3B leans forward. Patricia Wong adjusts her glasses. I'm a civil rights attorney. Young man, I'm happy to serve as a witness to this violation. Marcus feels his composure cracking. 20 years of building this company, and this is happening on his own planes. Captain Hayes, I'm going to give you one opportunity to make this right. Apologize, seat me properly, and we'll discuss this after landing. Hayes's pride wars with his fear. Pride wins. I don't apologize to people trying to scam their way into first class. Marcus's control finally slips. Scam? I bought this airline to prevent exactly this kind of discrimination, and you're proving I failed. The admission hangs in the air, the CEO's vulnerability exposed. He's not just angry about today. He's angry about every day he didn't fix this sooner. David Chen captures it all. The CEO just admitted he knew this was a problem. This is getting real. Marcus looks directly into the camera, exhaustion and determination mixing in his expression. My name is Marcus Reed. In 45 minutes when we land, things are going to change. 2 airport security officers board the plane. Officer Thompson surveys the scene with practiced eyes. Which passenger is causing the disturbance? Hayes, sweat now visible on his forehead, points at Marcus. This man claims to be our CEO. He's refusing to move to economy. Thompson examines Marcus's documentation. Sir, this ticket is valid. First class, seat 2A. But surely you can see this is a scam, Hayes insists, his voice cracking. Look at him. I am looking at him, Thompson replies evenly. I see a passenger with valid documentation. Patricia Wong interjects. Officer, I'm documenting violations of Title II of the Civil Rights Act. This captain has refused service based solely on race. Hayes's phone buzzes again. His ex-wife. Robert, Kaylee needs her tuition. Stop ignoring us. His hands shake as he silences it. Marcus notices the captain's distress, but feels limited sympathy. How many passengers faced this from a stressed, biased crew? Captain Hayes, are you fit to fly? You seem distracted. Don't you dare question my fitness, Hayes snaps. 22 years with no safety incidents. But how many discrimination incidents? Marcus asks quietly. From economy, voices begin to rise. A black businessman shares his story of being denied an upgrade last month. A Latina doctor recounts her humiliation. The cabin becomes a confession booth. Marcus addresses them. I hear you. All of you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't know. Sorry I didn't fix this sooner. His admission of failure resonates. This isn't a perfect CEO. This is a man confronting his own blind spots. Hayes grabs the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a minor issue. We'll depart shortly. Suddenly, Hayes turns toward an elderly black man filming. Sir, put that phone down. The man continues recording. I have every right. Hayes reaches for the phone. I said put it down. Janet suddenly steps between them. Captain, stop. You're making it worse. The cabin falls silent. Hayes stares at Janet in betrayal. You're taking their side? I'm taking the side of not assaulting passengers, Janet replies, her voice shaking. She turns to the elderly man. Sir, I'm sorry. This isn't right. First Officer Mitchell emerges from the cockpit. Bob, what's going on? We're 20 minutes late now. His eyes land on Marcus and widen. Wait, Mr. Reed? From the flight program? Hello, James. Mitchell's face pales. Oh, God. Bob, this is Marcus Reed, the actual CEO. Hayes's world collapses. His phone shows 17 missed calls. His daughter has posted, "Is my dad really the racist pilot on TikTok?" "This can't be happening," Hayes mutters. "The metrics, my bonus, Kaylee's tuition." For the first time, Marcus sees the human behind the bias. A flawed, stressed man who let pressure and prejudice guide terrible decisions. "Captain Hayes," Marcus says, his anger tempered with understanding, "we all make mistakes, but what matters is what we do next." Hayes straightens, gathering the tatters of his authority. "Fine. Mr. Reed, you may take your seat, but I'm still captain of this aircraft." "For now," Marcus replies, taking his seat in 2A. The plane finally pushes back from the gate. As they taxi toward the runway, Marcus opens his laptop and begins typing furiously. Patricia Wong leans over. "What are you doing?" "Documenting everything. Preparing for what comes next." He pauses, showing vulnerability again. "I should have flown my airline more often. Should have seen this myself instead of reading sanitized reports." Janet approaches tentatively. "Mr. Reed, I know I have no right to ask, but what's going to happen to us?" Marcus looks up, seeing genuine fear in her eyes. "That depends on what you do in the next 45 minutes, Ms. Miller." The plane accelerates down the runway. In the air, there's nowhere to hide from consequences. Hayes grips the controls in the cockpit, knowing his career hangs by a thread. Janet serves drinks with shaking hands, wondering if this is her last flight. And Marcus Reed, CEO and majority owner, sits in the first-class seat he had to fight for, planning a revolution at 35,000 feet. David Chen continues streaming using the plane's Wi-Fi. "We're airborne, folks. The CEO is on board, documenting everything. What happens when we land? Keep watching." At cruising altitude, the cabin atmosphere shifts. The immediate confrontation is over, but everyone knows judgment awaits upon landing. Janet serves Marcus his drink with trembling hands. "Mr. Reed, your coffee. I made it fresh." "Thank you, Janet." He notices her name tag is crooked, her usual professional facade cracking. "Sit down for a moment." "I couldn't. It's against—" "I own the airline. Sit." She perches on the armrest across the aisle, tears threatening. "I have 3 kids, Mr. Reed. I'm a single mom. I know that doesn't excuse what I did, but tell me about them." The question surprises her. "Aisha is 12, wants to be a pilot. Marcus Jr. is 10. She stops, realizing the irony. "I named him after Marcus Garvey." "Yet you looked at me and saw someone unworthy of respect." "I saw someone who didn't fit the image I expected. I've been doing this job 15 years, and I let myself believe that clothes equal class." She wipes her eyes. "My grandmother would be ashamed." From his middle seat in row 3B, David Chen provides commentary. The flight attendant is having what looks like a genuine moment of realization. We're at 300,000 viewers. Patricia Wong has been taking notes throughout. She approaches Marcus. "Mr. Reed, I have to ask, why didn't you immediately identify yourself?" Marcus's shoulders slump slightly. "Because I'm tired of having to announce my credentials just to be treated like a human being. And honestly, I suspected this was happening but kept finding excuses not to investigate personally." "You were avoiding your own airline?" "I was avoiding confirmation of what I feared was true." The admission costs him. "That's failure of leadership." Mitchell's voice comes over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first officer. We're beginning our descent into Chicago. On behalf of the entire crew, I want to apologize for the delay and for what you witnessed. That's not who Skyline Airways should be." In the cockpit, Hayes grips the controls. His co-pilot glances over. Bob, you okay? Define okay, Hayes mutters. I just discriminated against our CEO. On livestream. My daughter won't talk to me. My ex is threatening court over tuition. And I'm about to lose everything. Maybe you should apologize. Genuinely. Hayes's pride flares. I was protecting the integrity of first class. From a paying customer? Come on, Bob. We both know what this was really about. Back in the cabin, Marcus's phone rings. William Morrison, chairman of the board. Marcus, we're all watching the stream. The stock is down 12%. We need to meet the moment we land. Already arranged, William. Conference room at the executive terminal. We have serious changes to discuss. Changes? Marcus, let's not be hasty. Hasty. Marcus's voice rises, then he catches himself. William, I've apparently been negligent for years. That ends today. Janet, still nearby, finds courage. Mr. Reed, what if I could help? I know every excuse employees tell themselves, every rationalization. I could teach others to see past them. Marcus studies her. You went from denying me a seat to offering to lead reform in 30 minutes. Why should I believe you? Because you saw me at my worst, and I can't pretend it didn't happen. 50 million people saw it. My children will see it. Her voice breaks. I need to make this right. Not for my job, for them. David Chen interviews nearby passengers, gathering stories. The consensus builds. This isn't an isolated incident, but a pattern. As Chicago approaches, Marcus makes a decision. Janet, Patricia, I want you both in the meeting when we land. Different perspectives. The plane descends through clouds. Below, news vans are already gathering at O'Hare. The story has exploded beyond social media. CNN, Fox, BBC, everyone wants the landing shot. Hayes's voice. Professional, despite everything. Flight attendants, prepare for landing. Marcus sends one final email before touchdown. Emergency board meeting, 90 minutes. Mandatory attendance. We're fixing this today. His phone shows missed calls from board members, executives, reporters. He ignores them all, staring out at the approaching runway. The wheels touch down. As the plane taxis to the gate, everyone aboard knows they've been part of history. What started as discrimination has become a reckoning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicago, Hayes says, his voice hollow. Local time is 2:47 p.m. For those continuing on, there may be a delay. When the plane doors open, corporate justice begins. The real confrontation is about to unfold. The plane reaches the gate. Through the windows, passengers see the media circus waiting. News vans, reporters, cameras, all focused on Skyline Flight 1947. Marcus stands, gathering his laptop. His phone shows 53 missed calls. He turns to Janet. Ms. Miller, you wanted a chance to make this right? It starts now. Come with me. Sir? You're going to tell the board exactly what happened. No sugarcoating. As the door opens, airport security and Skyline executives crowd the jet bridge. Thomas Chen, VP of Operations, pushes forward, face flushed. Mr. Reed, we've arranged a private exit. No! Marcus's voice cuts through. We're not hiding from this. He walks through the terminal, Janet and Patricia Wong beside him, David Chen still streaming. Reporters surge forward. Mr. Reed, Lisa Chang, CNN, can you comment on what happened? Marcus stops. Behind him, Hayes emerges from the cockpit, trying to slip away unnoticed. Captain Hayes, join us, please. Hayes freezes. I need to file my flight reports. They can wait. Your career might not. The group moves through the terminal. CEO, captain, flight attendant, attorney, and live streamer. An unlikely procession heading toward corporate judgment. In the executive conference room, 12 board members wait. The massive screen shows David's live stream, now at 1.2 million viewers. William Morrison stands. "Marcus, this is a disaster. Our stock has dropped 15%. "Good," Marcus replies, surprising everyone. "Maybe losing money will make you care about losing our soul." He connects his laptop to the presentation system. "Let me show you what I discovered by actually flying our airline." The screen fills with data, not the sanitized reports he usually sees, but raw complaints Patricia Wong helped compile during the flight. 400 discrimination complaints in 3 years, settled quietly, hidden from me. His voice tightens. "I trusted you to run this company ethically while I focused on expansion. I was wrong." Board member Sandra Kim speaks up. "Marcus, these were handled by HR, buried by HR." He clicks to the next slide. "Janet, tell them what happened today." Janet steps forward, voice shaking but determined. "I denied Mr. Reed his rightful seat because he's black and dressed casually. I didn't check his ticket. I just assumed he didn't belong." "And you, Captain Hayes?" Hayes, deflated, speaks quietly. "I backed her up, threatened to call security. I tried to physically take a phone from an elderly passenger." He pauses. "I let stress and bias guide my decisions. My divorce, financial pressure, they're explanations, not excuses." Morrison interjects. "Surely we can handle this quietly." Quietly. Marcus's control finally breaks. "We're live streaming to over 1 million people. My face is on every news channel. There is no quiet." He takes a breath, composing himself. "I move for immediate suspension of Captain Hayes and Janet Miller, pending full investigation. HR will complete review within 72 hours. "Seconded," Sandra Kim says quickly. "All in favor?" Unanimous. Hayes closes his eyes, knowing it's over. Janet nods, accepting consequences. "Furthermore," Marcus continues, "I move to retain Ms. Miller as a consultant during her suspension. She'll help design our new diversity training program." The board exchanges glances. Morrison objects. "You want to reward her?" "I want to use her. She knows every excuse, every blind spot. Her failure can teach others." Patricia Wong speaks up. "From a legal perspective, showing rehabilitation and reform could help with the inevitable lawsuits." The board votes again. 7 in favor, 5 against. It passes. Marcus turns to the camera. David Chen has been allowed to keep streaming. "To everyone watching, I failed you. As CEO, I was too comfortable in my bubble, too willing to believe positive reports. That changes now." He outlines immediate changes. Body cameras for crew during conflicts, quarterly bias training mandatory for all employees, independent oversight committee, public reporting of all discrimination complaints. This will cost approximately $200 million annually, CFO Sterling objects. "Then we'll spend it, or I'll use my majority stake to replace board members who disagree." The threat lands. Marcus Reed isn't just apologizing, he's declaring war on his own company's culture. Hayes asks quietly, "What happens to me?" Marcus looks at him, really looks, sees the broken man beneath the uniform. "That depends on you, Captain. Own what you did, publicly. Help us understand how bias operates. Maybe you fly again someday. Maybe not. But you can still contribute to change." A glimmer of hope in Hayes' eyes. Not forgiveness, but a path forward. Janet finds her voice. "Mr. Reed, I'll do whatever it takes. Speak at every training. Face every angry employee. I know I'll be the most hated person at Skyline for a while." "Probably," Marcus agrees. "But also potentially the most important. Real change requires real examples. The meeting continues for another hour. Policies drafted. Terminations approved. Budgets allocated. All streaming live. Transparency as penance. When it ends, Marcus stands at the window, watching planes take off. Morrison approaches. You know this will cost us more than money. Our reputation was built on discrimination hidden by public relations. Maybe it deserves to burn. As board members file out, Janet lingers. Mr. Reed? My kids. They're watching. What do I tell them? Marcus turns from the window. Tell them you made a terrible mistake. Tell them you're working to fix it. Tell them that people can change, but only if they face who they really are. She nods, tears flowing. Thank you for not just throwing me away. Everyone deserves a chance to be better than their worst moment. Even me, especially me. Within hours of the meeting, the aviation industry transforms. Marcus's live-streamed accountability session sends shockwaves through corporate America. At Skyline headquarters, emergency meetings convene in every department. HR Director Jennifer Hayes, no relation to the captain, faces a room of terrified managers. Effective immediately, all discrimination complaints will be investigated by an external firm. No more internal handling. But the cost, someone protests, is nothing compared to losing our license to operate, Jennifer responds. The CEO just declared war on our culture. Adapt or leave. Meanwhile, Hayes sits in a small airport office with union representative Mike Torres. Robert, the union can't defend physical aggression toward a passenger. You're on your own. Hayes nods, defeated. I know. 22 years, Mike. Perfect safety record. And 12 discrimination complaints. You think we didn't know? We just hoped you'd retire before it caught up. The honesty stings. Hayes realizes everyone enabled him until consequences arrived. His phone buzzes. A text from his daughter. Dad, I'm ashamed of you, but Mom says you're still my father. Please get help. Across town, Janet Miller sits with her 3 children, watching the news coverage. Mom, is that really you? Aisha asks, seeing the footage again. Yes, baby. That's me at my worst. Why did you do it? Janet considers lying, making excuses. Instead, because I was taught to see clothes before character, to assume things about people who look different, and I never questioned it until today. Marcus Jr. pipes up. But you're going to fix it, right? I'm going to try. Every day for the rest of my life. United Airlines announces immediate bias training. Delta commits $500 million to diversity programs. American Airlines creates an independent oversight board. The skyline effect ripples outward. At O'Hare, Marcus prepares to fly back to Atlanta on his own airline. This time, he books economy. Same clothes. Testing again. The gate agent recognizes him immediately. Mr. Reed, let me upgrade you. No, I'll sit where I booked. But thank you for offering every passenger that same courtesy. She flushes, understanding the test and the lesson. On board, a different crew serves this flight. They're nervous but professional. Word has spread. The CEO is watching. Always watching now. David Chen, also heading to Atlanta, approaches. Mr. Reed, can I ask, why did you really let Janet stay? Marcus considers. Because firing her would be easy. Working with her is hard, and real change only comes from doing hard things. Even though she humiliated you? Especially then. If she can change, truly change, she proves everyone can. That's more powerful than any policy. The investigation concludes swiftly. Hayes. Terminated for cause. Benefits revoked. His pilot's license faces FAA review. Janet. Suspended 6 months without pay, then reinstated contingent on leading diversity training. Hayes's termination letter arrives as he packs his office. 22 years reduced to a banker's box. His ex-wife calls. "Robert, I saw everything. The kids are confused and hurt." "I know. I'm going to therapy. Real therapy this time." That's good. Maybe we can talk. Eventually. You're still their father." A lifeline in his darkness. Not forgiveness, but possibility. Janet's first training session approaches. 500 employees, mandatory attendance. She's terrified. Patricia Wong, now Skyline's Chief Diversity Counsel, coaches her. Don't minimize, don't excuse, just truth. They're going to hate me. Some will, but others will see themselves in you. Those are the ones who matter. The training begins. Janet faces a hostile crowd. "My name is Janet Miller. 2 weeks ago, I denied our CEO service because he was black. 50 million people saw my prejudice. Your prejudice might not be filmed, but it's just as real." Silence. Then one hand raises. "Why should we listen to you?" "Because I know every excuse you tell yourself. I used them all. And I'm proof that facing ugly truth is the only way forward." Marcus watches via closed circuit, seeing Janet's genuine transformation. It's painful, raw, real. Everything corporate training usually isn't. His phone rings. William Morrison. "Marcus, some good news. Stock's recovering, up 3% today." "I don't care about the stock, William. You own 51%. You have to care. I care about owning an airline my father could have flown on with dignity. Everything else is secondary." 3 months later, Hayes sends a letter. Marcus reads it in his office. "Mr. Reed, I don't expect forgiveness. I've lost my career, my reputation, nearly my family, but I've gained understanding of the harm I caused. I volunteer now, teaching youth about unconscious bias. It's not enough, but it's a start. Thank you for suggesting I could still contribute." Robert Hayes. Marcus files the letter. Redemption is possible, but trust takes longer. Outside his window, planes take off and land, each one carrying hundreds of souls who deserve dignity. Under his watch, they'll receive it. The revolution sparked in Seat 2A continues. 1 year later, the aviation industry has transformed. The Skyline incident becomes required viewing in business schools worldwide. Marcus Reed sits across from Anderson Cooper for a follow-up interview. "It's been a year since that flight. What's changed?" "Everything, and not enough," Marcus admits. "We've trained 30,000 employees. Discrimination complaints are down 78%. But changing hearts takes longer than changing policies." The numbers tell a story. Skyline leads the industry in diversity metrics. Stock price recovered and rose 20%. Customer satisfaction at record highs. But Marcus knows numbers don't capture everything. In Houston, Robert Hayes teaches a workshop for young pilots. His audience, diverse recruits entering aviation. "I lost everything because I couldn't see past my biases. Your generation can do better. Must do better." A young black woman raises her hand. "Captain Hayes, do you regret what happened?" "Every day. But I'm grateful it was exposed. Living a lie was killing me slowly. Facing truth gave me a chance to change." His daughter sits in the back row. They're rebuilding, slowly. She introduces him now as "my dad," who's doing the work. Janet Miller has become Skyline's most effective trainer. Her sessions are brutal, honest, transformative. "I've told my story 900 times," she tells a new class. It never gets easier. It shouldn't. The day it stops hurting is the day I stop growing. Her children have become advocates. Aisha, now 13, speaks at schools about unconscious bias. Marcus Jr. wrote an essay that went viral. My mom was racist. Here's how she changed. Patricia Wong's law firm now exclusively handles discrimination cases. The Reed Foundation funds her work, justice for those who can't afford it. We've won 200 cases this year. Each one chips away at systemic prejudice. Marcus turned his humiliation into hundreds of victories for others. David Chen's documentary, Seat 2A, The Flight That Changed Everything, wins an Emmy. He donates proceeds to train citizen journalists in marginalized communities. Everyone has a camera now. Everyone can expose injustice. Marcus Reed showed us power isn't just about position. It's about truth. At Skyline, changes run deep. Body cameras catch both discrimination and excellent service. Monthly town halls let employees voice concerns directly to Marcus. The company becomes a model for corporate accountability. But success brings new challenges. Some customers boycott, calling Skyline too woke. Shareholders grumble about diversity spending. Marcus faces them all. If you want an airline that prioritizes profit over people, sell your shares. I'll buy them. On this anniversary, Marcus again flies Skyline economy. Same jeans, same t-shirt. The crew treats him like any passenger. Polite, professional, equitable. The system works. Mid-flight, an elderly black man recognizes him. Mr. Reed, I was on that flight, the one where they tried to take my phone. Marcus remembers. How are you, sir? Proud. You kept your word, changed things. My grandson just got hired by Skyline. Says he wants to be like you. Tell him to be better than me. I waited too long to act. But you acted. That's what matters. As the plane descends into Atlanta, Marcus reflects on the year. His father died never seeing equality in his lifetime. But Marcus has begun building it for the next generation. His phone shows a message from Janet. Training session 1000 tomorrow. Thank you for believing people can change. A response from Hayes. 1 year sober from prejudice. Daily work, like you said. Thank you for the path. Even critics acknowledge the impact. Industry-wide, discrimination complaints dropped 60% so. The Skyline standard becomes shorthand for accountability. Marcus's final thought as the plane lands. Change isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every flight, every interaction, every choice to see humanity over assumptions. The 45 minutes that started with humiliation created a movement. Not because Marcus Reed was powerful, but because he was vulnerable. He showed that admitting failure can spark transformation. At baggage claim, a young black girl tugs her mother's hand. Mommy, is that the man who fixed the airplanes? Her mother smiles. He fixed more than airplanes, baby. He fixed hearts. Marcus overhears, smiles, and disappears into the crowd. The work continues. Every day, every flight, every choice to see people as they truly are. Because sometimes it takes losing your dignity to help others find theirs. Sometimes power means admitting powerlessness. Sometimes the worst moment becomes the catalyst for the best change. The seat that was denied became the seat that changed everything, not just for Marcus Reed. For everyone who's ever been told they don't belong. Every day we choose who to be in someone else's story. Choose to see. Choose to speak. Choose to change. The next 45 minutes of your life could transform someone else's. What will you do with that power?